I've been here doing this.
Oh, is that my one?
That's your van, yeah. That's your water, sir.
Did you hear that?
We heard it. You might want to put it on the table next time. We don't have the little side table.
There we go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Akron. We are so proud to be part of a team of 1.2 million Rotarians worldwide working together to make the world a better place. I'm Linda Farkas. I am honored to be the 2022-23 president of our club. Thank you for joining me today. And at this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to our Sergeant of Arms, Connor Jarvis, for the invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, and the Rotary's four-way test. So if you are able, would you please stand at this time?
Thank you. I can use this one. All right. Thank you all for being here. The National whatever it is day, I think there's a website, it's more official than that, but National Day Today, July 26th, is All or Nothing Day. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there that use that as an excuse to maybe do something stupid, but the premise behind it is to, do something that you've always wanted to do, or that you've put off doing, that scares you, and use it to, today as the day where you'd be so bold as to go ahead and do whatever that thing is. But it got me thinking about the verse Ecclesiastes 9:10, which says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. And so just my, encouraging word today would be, life is way too short for us to do anything lukewarm, whether it's our jobs, our nonprofit work, relationships that we have. And so trying to blend that verse that was on my mind together with, hey, it's National All or Nothing Day. Let's give this life our all, because we don't know when it might end for us. And I know as a club, there's a lot of great work as Rotarians we can do, not only for the greater Akron community, but for the world. So I would just challenge each and every one of us today to give it our all in our efforts for the club, with our families, with our careers. And if you don't love what you do, either find something you do love or change what you love. So if you just bow your heads with me real quick, I'd say, just Father God, I thank you for this time here together as Rotarians, for the blessing that it is to be able to gather in person, and for those that are virtual, just the blessing that technology is. Ask that you would bless this food and the hands that prepared it. Help us to just have a great meeting as a club, and give us the strength to just do all that we do with all of our might, and the courage to do so. Amen. All right, the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test: is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And I believe it is time to bring Karen up, our greeter, Karen Herdlicka. So Karen, guests that we have.
You're welcome. Gotta take my glasses off to read. We have several other Rotarian guests today. So Dennis Lowry from our Talmadge Club. Do you want to say hi? Dennis is from the Talmadge Club, and I'm excited because I get to speak to the Talmadge Club in a couple of weeks. We also have Gloria Terry from the Port Summit. You want to say anything? Welcome. We're glad to have you. Katie Miller has a guest. You want to introduce your guest?
I have my daughter Casey, which I think I introduced most of you to already, who's visiting us from Florida.
Welcome. It's not often that people come to Ohio for better weather.
Well, some of you do.
And Jacinto, you have a guest.
Sure. I'd like to welcome, or have the club welcome Jen Cranmer. She's a summer associate at Boris. Great college.
We need the light out here, nobody can hear.
Well, I'll just announce it. So Katie brought her daughter from, her daughter's visiting from, Casey's visiting from Florida, and Jacinto brought Jennifer Kramer, who is an associate for the summer from the University of Akron at Boris. So, welcome. Oh, is there anyone visiting online? I don't, how do I check on anything?
I don't think there, anyone, I don't see anyone on the, I don't see anyone on there. All right. Thank you, Karen. Rotary ambassadors, do we have any Rotary ambassadors here today? No, okay. Linda, do you want to do Happy Dollars then, or do you want me to jump into it? Okay, I'll do it. So, Happy Dollars, who's happy today? I'll collect. All right, Katie is happy, then Dennis afterwards. I'm going to walk back with the mic so our folks online can hear. You want to try to stand in front of the camera right now. We got 5 happy dollars.
This is a long walk to come up here and do this.
Yeah, I said I'll meet you out here next.
Okay, so I have 5 happy dollars. One, especially bringing my daughter here from Daytona Beach. She works with the NASCAR Foundation, which I think most of you already know. We had all of our kids come in this weekend and spent the weekend with us out at our campsite with our grandchildren, although my grandson was not the best 2.5-year-old self he could have been with molars and ear infections. The other part of my happy dollars is my husband, as most of you know, is on the State Board of Education, and he is up for re-election, and I have his petition. So if you are a voter, registered voter in Summit County, or Geauga, or I can't remember the other one, Ashtabula, I think. But if you're a registered voter and you'd like to sign the petition, you can just meet me in the back of the room after the meeting's over. Thanks.
Thank you, Katie. That was 5 happy dollars. Dennis, you had? And let me just walk over to you. Katie, if you could leave that mic up at the podium.
Thank you. Happy visiting from Talmadge. Past president, I think about 1992, long time ago. But also came specifically today to hear Greg. But Greg's under the weather, as many are, so we want Greg to get well soon. But Greg serves on my committee for Kiwanis, planning our event on September 29th. And in your club is one of our major sponsors. And so we look forward to you guys filling your table on September 29th.
Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate you being here. All right.
So I have a single happy dollar, just so that it's in addition to Connor talking about what today is, it's also National Hot Fudge Sundae Day, so go ahead.
Julie. Susan Koval Hall. Looks like we got 2 happy dollars here.
I do, because Rotary Waymakers were wonderful, and they came out and they paddled hard, and they made an impression on everyone. I didn't stay because the storm came in, so we don't know if there was a final race, but I'll get back with everybody. And I just want to thank Brian Cosarco, because he did an awesome job of bringing everybody together. Thank you. And I said I had 2. The other one is because Yara is going to be arriving from Barcelona, Spain on Wednesday, and we're getting her enrolled at Stoke Monroe Falls High School. I was there talking to the principal today. So she's going to be playing volleyball, and we're going to have an opportunity for all of you to get out and to meet her. So I'll be in touch with you soon.
Thank you, Susan. And I'm going to take a quick intermission on happy dollars. It looked like our apologies for missing an online guest, I believe from Sweden, Pierre Janerston. I might be mispronouncing that name. I hate to butcher names, but Terry or Pierre, if you could correct me on your pronunciation, welcome. Thanks for being here, and we apologize for overlooking you initially.
No worries. The name is rather well pronounced. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
thank you for being here. Okay, great. Happy dollars. Dave Halden, or Steve, then Dave.
All right, I have three happy dollars. My first is for Gloria Terry. Gloria is a shaker and a mover in Akron and has a wonderful work that she does with young black
President Bowie.
great having small wonders and influencing young women. And thank you for being here. The second is to concur with Susan. Brian, you did a phenomenal job with the Dragon Boat. And it was the first opportunity for my wife, who is a breast cancer survivor, to participate. She loved it. And she said, you know, the exercise of pulling and rowing is actually very good for therapy on the other side of everything. And then my last dollar is for Dr. Rob. I see him. He's there with
They have it on the big screen.
And Dr. Rob, I'm so thankful for him. He and I had some time together last Thursday for a couple of hours, and I really appreciate his consistent leadership, how committed he is to our city in so many different ways. But above all of that, Rob, I really appreciate your humility, and humility goes a long way. So may we all walk like that.
Thank you, Mr. Bowie. All right, so I'm going to have Dave Hall and Dave Miller. I'm going to cut down this aisle here.
So I have five happy dollars. Brian did a fantastic job on the Dragon Boats. My wife and I had a fantastic time and enjoyed ourselves. Also want to thank those who came out to the Akron Food Bank last Wednesday, last Wednesday. Time flies. But we had a great time there transferring, 2 2-pound bags, working down an 800-pound bale of Rice Krispie cereal. So that was quite interesting and a lot of fun. And then we had a nice social afterwards. So thanks to all who came out and supported us there.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, fantastic cause and a great outing that I was sad to have missed. All right. Dave Miller.
Thanks, Connor, everyone. Happy dollar. I just want to, Steve, I'm going to be out of town during your roast, not roast, whatever they call it nowadays, but party, your celebration. But thanks again for a great year. So sorry I'll be missing it.
Thank you, Dave. All right, we have someone online and Jacinto in person afterwards. Who is online with a happy dollar?
Hi, Connor. It's Dr. Rob with John.
All right.
And I have 5 happy dollars. 2 because I'm here with my buddy John, and he's got his Rotary Club of Akron shirt on. He remembered today was Rotary, and he dressed the part. And then I have another happy dollar for Brian. I'm glad that you were able to pull off the Wave Makers. Congratulations. And the remaining $2 is for past presidents team. And if you can come and join us Friday night, you won't be disappointed. There'll be a nice musical surprise.
All right, thank you, Dr. Rob. Yes, it'll be a great event on Friday. Thanks for being here, John, and for dressing for the occasion. Oh, Q, not Stu.
I'm happy dollars. One for a great event at the food bank. We had a few people come, and of course, thanks for coordinating that. As well as it was good to see people, as well as it's so good to see people here physically at our Rotary Club. So,
thank you, Hugh. Jacinto.
Thanks. A happy dollar that Jen Cranmer is here joining us. She's been a great colleague this summer, and I know she's going to do great things. Another happy dollar, my son, who's going to be going on a Rotary exchange, got his visa from South Korea. At first, I thought it was North Korea. I was a little concerned. But so that's good. And then it's a dry run for being empty nesters. He's on his way to Miami to spend a week. And I figured if he could make it in Miami for a week, he'll be flying in South Korea.
Thank you, Hasito. Wishing Manny the best. All right, anyone else out there? If not, I will turn it back over to Linda. Oh, Mela, yes? All right.
I just want to remind everybody.
All right, thanks, Ann.
So our Akron Rotary's cornhole tournament, Saturday, August 27th. Hopefully you guys can come out to the camp and join us. It's always a great event. We have Menchie's food truck there. We have ice cream. We have beer, which is always fun. And so it's always great to play cornhole there. Scott Culligan and Dr. Doug are leading the charge for this year. Buckeye Corrugated as our presenting sponsor. So please come out and join us.
I have a question. Are Rotarians from other clubs welcome to come to the cornhole tournament?
Yes, Rotarians from other clubs are welcome to come to the cornhole tournament and promote it within their club. That'd be great.
And Cheryl's announcement.
On behalf of our PI committee, which I am a member of, we need photos from your events. And we are now publicizing events that are open to other clubs as well. So please make sure I get that information, Mela. And any pictures you take, we would like them to be like 4 by 3, if you could. Try to take them in a square so that we can fit them on the website and promote what you've done on our district website. Thanks.
Thank you, Cheryl. And Linda, back to you. I was going to say, was it last year, Mela, at the cornhole tournament, after a little too much beer, they were playing dodgeball with the beanbags, or no? Was that All right. There's a mic up there if you want to use that one, Linda.
Well, we've got a lot of people that are very happy. We're going to do a little reflection on our happy dollars. Once upon a time, a few years ago, some of us should remember that the lucky person that was the recipient of the happy dollars had this fabulous opportunity. And that opportunity was the following week, they got to stand with Mela and do the collection for that happy dollars. I mean the raffle. So just FYI, we're going back to a former success, and the idea is to engage more of our members. So we have more people there in the front. So just don't forget, if you are the winner today, you have a job next week. It's not really a job, it's an opportunity. Under a couple announcements, one, again, back to David Hall. Dave, thank you for coordinating our food bank. I brought a couple of his emails and left them on the table where Mela is standing, so it gives you background information. The next time that we'll be at the food bank is Wednesday, August 17th. It is 4:30 to 6:30. We had a lot of fun this last Wednesday, bagging 2-pound bags of Rice Krispies. So you never know what you're going to get to do and learn at the food bank. So Dave, thanks again for setting this up. And at this time, Karen is going to say some magic words about our survey that we have sent out for our members. So Karen?
Yeah, we have a survey that's both about meetings and also about some bylaws questions. I have paper ones here, but the benefit is if you do the online one, the last question is not left off. So if you fill out a paper one here today, just make sure if you want to be entered for a gift card drawing, that you put your name on the back. You can do it anonymous too, but if you do the online one, that question is there. So if anyone wants a paper one, I have one, I will take it today. So.
And Karen, the cutoff date is?
August 15th.
August 15th. So again, we have hard copies here, and also you can do the survey online. So please help us out. We want to hear from you, and we think it's important to get feedback from our membership. Brian, could you just give us a couple of highlights on the Dragon Race on Saturday? It sounded like it was an exciting time, and I apologize, I was in Columbus all day for a military meeting.
Yeah, hi. So we ended up, I think, in 5th place in the community category. But what we did do that was better is we did make 2nd place in the fundraising. So I think we came out about $1,500, which was only 1/10 of 1st place's thing. But we did end up winning some gift certificates because of that. So we're going to come up with exactly how we're going to disperse those to Rotarians, maybe have an event or something along those lines. But it was a very good time, and I believe it's the same week in July next year. So if anybody's interested, we can already start planning for that.
Great, Brian, and again, congratulations for your efforts. Brian really did a phenomenal job of pulling this off. So thanks again, Brian, and your team. It takes a team to win. I just want to reiterate with Dr. Rob and the fact that our special thank you to Steve Bowie, past president of our club, will be this Friday evening at the camp. So I'm quite sure, Mela, don't kill me if I say there's still an opportunity to maybe come. So, on Friday for Steve Bowie's recognition and celebration of Steve.
Yeah, just let me know.
So Mela said yes, so I'm not in trouble on that point. Susan, is there anything else you want to say about our exchange students?
Just that we have, the girl from Belgium. Our girl from Belgium, Apolline, came with her Rotary exchange host who's going to go to Belgium, and they leave at the end of this week. So they're going over. They came to the Dragon Boat Festival too, so it was fun to see them there.
Very good, thanks, Susan. Any other announcements that need to be brought up before our group? Anybody online have any announcements they'd like to share? Nothing? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Cheryl?
Our friend from Sweden wouldn't mind saying a few words if we would like. Our friend from Sweden wouldn't mind saying a few words.
Oh, our guest from Sweden. Hello. Would you like to say a few words to our group here in Akron, Ohio?
Well, I could send greetings from Uppsala, Sweden. It's a historical town. We have the oldest university in the northern Europe, 1477, and we have the largest cathedral as well. The archbishop sits in town, and we are famous Rotary-wise because we have one of the peace centers, and that's because we have a very strong Rotary community. There are 600 Rotarians, and the population is about 200,000. So we have one Rotarian in every 300 inhabitants, and that's tilted in our favor. We competed with famous universities like Berkeley, but they didn't make it. Well, I'm very happy to visit you. I've not been to any club in Ohio. The closest I've come is in Detroit, and that's not quite Ohio. I'm very, very happy that you have me, and I will follow your procedure with interest. Thank you.
Thank you, and again, welcome. If you send us your email address on the chat, I'm quite sure Cheryl Warren will be able to send you our our weekly newsletter and update you and bring you on board as often as you'd like to join us. And hopefully you'll be going to Rotary International in May of 2023 to Australia. And if you indeed are, we'll have to meet up because I plan to be there.
That would be nice. Thank you.
Thank you again. It's wonderful to have so many international people join us. So Katie, at this time I'm going to turn the meeting over to Katie, and she's going to do the honor of introducing our guest speaker.
Thank you. So originally, our guest speaker was to be Greg Mervis from the Akron Summit County Convention and Visitors Bureau, but unfortunately, Mr. Mervis texted me the other day on Sunday that he had tested positive for COVID, and he's in isolation until Thursday. So he graciously agreed to send his Vice President of Marketing and Brand Management from the Visitors Bureau. So I was really pleased to have that. So I'd like to introduce our speaker is going to be Jim Mahon. And Jim has been with the Akron Summit Convention Visitors Bureau for 24 years as of February of 2022. And prior to that, he was with Trumbull County for 7 years. He lives in Cortland, Ohio. So if anybody knows that, that's about an hour away, and he commutes each way since 1999. And he likes to think that he's the greater Akron community has adopted him many, many years ago. And I would say if you're making a 2-hour round trip from the snow belt back and forth in the winter, then you must have an aficionado for Akron. So thank you, Jim Mahon.
Thank you, Katie. So give me 1 second here to switch this over. Actually, 1 second. Gotta love technology. As Katie said, my name is Jim Mahon, and I am Greg Mervis's stunt double today. And it is a pleasure to be here. Greg and I are always very eager and appreciative for opportunities to talk about not only the Akron Summit Convention and Visitors Bureau and what we do, but more importantly, all of our hospitality partners and the larger hospitality ecosystem that supports everything that we do. So I do want to accomplish in the short amount of time that we have 3 things. One, I want you to understand a little better about what is the hospitality economy. I want you to understand some of the efforts that the Convention and Visitors Bureau and our other business units are doing on behalf of the community. And then Katie had kind of asked Greg to talk a little bit about how we've kind of navigated the disruption that was placed in front of us because of COVID. So I'm going to share some of that and hopefully tie that all up in a bow in the about half hour that we have. So quickly, just kind of a quick organizational overview. So the Akron Summit Convention and Visitors Bureau was the parent company. In 1973, it was created. There are convention and visitor bureaus in most communities around the country and actually around the world, missioned with promoting their destination as a viable, attractive, engaging destination for leisure travel and business travel. So leisure travel, just individuals, groups, things of that nature, and then business travel, meetings, conventions, trade shows, things of that nature. One division of the Convention and Visitors Bureau is the Sports Alliance of Greater Akron, and it really has been for almost over 2 decades that I've been there, a really concerted effort to attract sporting events to our community. If you travel with your children or nieces or nephews or friends or family, you know that if you go to a tournament in, say, Cincinnati, as I will explain here shortly, you are contributing to that community's hospitality economy. As of the CVB, we're a 501c6 not-for-profit. The Greater Akron amenities that you see on the screen is our 501c3 that allows us to write grants and receive additional funding for special projects. In 1994, the John S. Knight Center opened. For the first year, it was under separate management. In 1995, the city, which owns the building, reached out to then President Susan Hamo and said, hey, would you like to maybe manage the John S. Knight Center? And that has been the case since 1995. And right now, it's the only instance in Ohio where the CVB also manages the convention center. So in Columbus or Cleveland, they certainly have a great relationship between, say, Experience Columbus and the Columbus Convention Center, but we have that added synergy of also managing the building. And I guess I always say, my words, be careful what you do well, because in 2009, the city reached out to us and handed us the keys to Greystone Hall, which, if you haven't been, is the old Masonic temple just across the street from us. 1917, it opened. The Masons spared no expense. It's a gorgeous building, and it gives us that kind of really cool juxtaposition of kind of our very contemporary modern meeting space at the center, and then kind of the very majestic space across the street. So that quickly is how we're structured, and I'll talk a little bit more about what we do here in a moment. This is my little corny audience participation. So when we think about Greater Akron Summit County, just quickly, quick fire, what are the points of interest, attractions, experience, things to see and do that you would maybe share with a relative or somebody thinking about coming to Akron?
CVNP.
Cuyahoga Valley National Park.
Stan Hewitt.
Stan Hewitt Hall and Gardens. Akron Civic Theater. Akron Zoo. Blossom Music Center. Wonderful. We probably have more than top 6 answers on the board, but that gives you an idea. So think about those things as we kind of move through the rest of the presentation. Currently, our current campaign is City Life, Outdoor Life, Grab Life right here. And I will tell you in a moment a little bit about the history as we kind of talk about how we navigated that disruption. But first I want to show you, fingers crossed, a video.
In Greater Akron, you can listen to a tune, then play a tune. Hit the trails, then hit the rails. Grab a bite, then grab a bike. Enjoy a beer, then enjoy a bear. In Greater Akron, you can do it all. So plan your visit, stay the night, and grab life right here.
So we're really, really proud of that video. It was part of I'm getting some feedback here. Okay, we'll turn that off. I think it was my computer. We're really pleased with the campaign, and I'll share in a little bit some of the results from that. What I want to show you now is a video that we did for...
You can listen to a tune, then play a tune. In Greater
So those were just 2 visuals that I wanted to share with you to give you an idea how we are packaging and messaging our destination across a number of different stakeholder categories. So just very quickly, let's talk a little bit about what the hospitality economy is. So the Convention and Visitors Bureau is solely funded by a portion of the bed tax that's collected from guests using hotels in Summit County. We have 63 plus hotels, just over 5,000 guest rooms throughout Summit County, and that is our footprint, all of Summit County. We get about 72 to 73% of those proceeds, and so one of our unofficial mottos is heads in beds. We want to do our job so that we are encouraging visitors to come and spend the night, ideally. The notion that that I want to share is that visitor dollars are very powerful. It's great that we as local residents visit Stan Hewitt or go to some of our different attractions, but when you attract a new dollar into that visitor economy, that hospitality economy, those are new dollars that would otherwise not be here. And so consecutively, dining, retail, entertainment, recreation, transportation, those are the portions of the economy and sectors and partners that we work with day in and day out. So to give you an idea, I just received from Tourism Economics, which is part of Oxford Economics, which is a global research firm, what the impact of travel and tourism, the hospitality industry, was in 2021. So you'll see, and that's not a typo, that is a B as in billion. So in Summit County in 2021, visitors were responsible for generating $1.4 billion. Those were folks that either came to spend the day, spent the night, or came from outside a 50-mile radius to partake in one of those business sectors. You'll see corresponding tax revenue, $321.7 million. You'll see the breakdown of federal, state, and local, $66.4 million attributed to direct visitor spending. Almost 14,000 jobs were supported, direct employment, and then you'll see there's some indirect jobs that are supported. Greg and I are always only interested in direct figures, direct spending, direct employment. What they mean by indirect is the supply chain effect. So the folks at Stan Hewitt or the Akron Art Museum have to go out and purchase goods and services, and then there is the induced effect, which is called the income effect, which is then the additional spending of those dollars in the community. Again, we're really only interested in those direct figures. So take a moment to tell you who our stakeholders are. So obviously visitors, whether they're leisure or business travelers, hotels, and our hospitality partners, obviously. We are not a membership bureau. There are some convention and visitor bureaus that have a membership component. For example, in Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame might pay Destination Cleveland a certain annual fee, and in their visitor's guide, their font is larger and it might be highlighted. We just decided years ago that that was kind of a layer of confusion or something that we really weren't interested in worrying about. So it affords us the ability to very broadly define who our hospitality partners are, and I think in the end of the day, that really benefits the visitor. Obviously, we work very closely with meeting, event, tour, and sports planners. Our board of directors, we're always keen in making sure that elected and public officials understand the power of the hospitality economy. And even more importantly, and in recent years, convention and visitors bureaus have realized, and I think we've always been a little ahead of the curve on this, is that local residents, local businesses that are even unrelated to our industry are incredibly important from an advocacy standpoint, and making sure, as I am today, that all of you leave here with a better understanding about what your neighbors or friends are maybe doing if they're employed in this industry, and how powerful it is for our community. So there are a lot of goals that we have. I've broken it down really into these notions of what's important when we talk about all of the attractions, experiences, things to see and do. And that's always communicating these very simple words: vibrancy, authenticity, diversity, accessibility, affordability certainly plays into our hand. The notion of just our unique sense of hospitality here in Summit County, and then always being an advocate for our partners and the industry. Just quickly to give you a sense of some of our in-market goals and objectives and some of our out-of-market. As I said, we do pay special attention to what we do here in Summit County, talking to local stakeholders. I'll say the majority of our marketing dollars are spent outside that radius that would allow us to attract those overnight or multiple overnight stays, but it's never at the expense of our partners and the community. Partnerships in Motion is a moniker that we've used, and we've created a lot of opportunities underneath it. Just our basic Partnerships in Motion program that allows for partner networking. Our Destination Development Grant Program, which we hopefully will be able to fund this year, being able to use part of our marketing budget for our partners, and a Speakers Bureau. That we were teeing up just before COVID reared its ugly head, so that's something that I'm eager to get reinstated. For example, Don Pageant from the golf tournament is interested in kind of expanding his circuit of who he can talk to, the folks at Stan Hewitt, John Fumey at the Art Museum. So we want to help facilitate that. We have regular meetings with our hotel partners. I do a marketing workshop about twice a year, and then the Sports Alliance. We have a great board of volunteers that help us identify additional opportunities to bring those sporting events to town. National Travel and Tourism Week was a little wonky this year because we were still navigating at the top of the year COVID protocols. So normally we would have we would have had our 19th annual Zenith Awards. That's been postponed to this fall. Defy Convention, if you leave here with one thing, think about your influence in the community. Defy Convention is a local program. It's been around forever in communities all over the place. The Bring Your Meeting Home. So not only professionally what you do, you attend conferences, and we want you to start thinking, oh, maybe I can bring the Rotary Club, or as we mentioned, the Kiwanis Club, or these things back home. But even in your hobbies, so Katie, I know, and this is not true, but you belong to the National Button Collectors Association, and you go to Milwaukee for their conference. Think about bringing that event home, because again, if you remember the equation for the hospitality economy, those new visitor dollars drive positive economic growth for our community. And then Plate Shop is something that we've been able to reactivate now that people can kind of go out and move about in our attractions. And that really is 2 sample weekend itineraries that you can get out, and they're themed, and we post those on the website. Out of market, that again is where a lot of our attention and resources are focused. I'll just read through this very quickly and maybe try to share a few examples. So our digital, social media and advertising and messaging, again, captures that uniqueness, all of the attractions. And you'll see, I have for you a copy of our visitor's guide, which is kind of the who's who of what we're talking about on a daily basis. We have the ability to leverage funds through Tourism Ohio, which is the state of Ohio's marketing division. They'll match us. We will spend $25,000 at a cap on a variety of different programs, and they will match that. So we get a lot of mileage out of those opportunities. If you've not heard about some of our paths, we're currently in our 6th annual Summit Brew Path. We are in our 3rd annual The Drip Drive, which is our coffee trail. And then New Again Akron is a vintage shopping trail. And I'll talk a little later about some of our recovery strategies. And these drives, these paths were key to us being able to kind of reactivate people coming back into the community. We do a number of sales missions, industry trade shows. We have a collaborative opportunity with the Akron Canton Airport and Visit Canton, which is the Canton Bureau, with a website called Fly to Akron Canton. And it again is kind of leveraging the Summit Stark community, their signature attractions, ours. And then there's ongoing, many of you may or may not know, in 2014, we hosted the International Gay Games. We shared that honor with Cleveland. 4 years before that, it was in Cologne, Germany. 4 years after, it was in Paris, France. And in 2023, it is going to be in Hong Kong. So we were among some really big players. And what we were able to learn was not only that basic equation of this was just another reason to bring a constituency of people into the community to stay the night and to eat and shop and all of that, but we really learned something about our communities. And I will tell you that the Federation of Gay Games, it was because of that authenticity, that general hospitality that we showed above and beyond the other cities that were bidding for it in 2014 is why they brought it here. And it was a tremendous success. If you've noticed the kind of teal sculpture out in front of the John S. Knight Center, there were some funds left over. So right now, to the best of my knowledge, that sculpture designed by Don Drum is the only permanent statue, structure, commemoration of the Gay Games in the world. So we're really pleased about that. So there are a lot of LGBTQ marketing strategies that we're developing as well. This is just a list of all of our microsites, and I'll find a way to see that we get this PowerPoint to you with a lot of these resources. But just wanted to share that, especially today, you have to really target people based on their interests, and that's what these microsites have allowed us to do. So this was a slide that Greg was originally had me put in for his presentation. And I'll do my best to kind of articulate the thought behind this, but this kind of tees up the conversation about how we navigated the disruption of COVID. And Carrie Jaros, the CEO of Gojo, if you had a chance, she spoke last week at Akron Roundtable, and she used this never normal to kind of frame the conversation that has there ever really been a time in history that was normal? And if that's not the case, then people have thrown around the new normal. There is a Belgian author, entrepreneur by the name of Peter Hinson, who 10 years ago wrote a book called The New Normal. But in the recent year or so, he's spun that to never normal. And Carrie, talking about the history of Gojo, and again, what I kind of want to share right here is to get us thinking about how we as an organization, how your organizations, how we as a community did what we needed to do during the last 2 years when not given a handbook on how to do it. So what Carrie shared about Gojo is that when Jerry and Goldie Lippman, during their reign at Gojo, experienced, all kinds of issues with health. I think the Spanish flu, world wars, all of these things. And so you look back, and Carrie's thought was, this notion of a never normal is, Jerry and Goldie were doing that back in the early part of the 1900s. So I share that so we can kind of understand some of the things that we did. So, why is this not? I'm not sure why this froze up, sorry. Here we go. So Akron Rebound was a website. So Governor DeWine in March of 2020 issued his first stay-at-home order. In less than 3 weeks after that, we had the website Akron Rebound launched and live. Did we know what we were doing? No, but we knew we had to be a part of the solution. So during the months immediately following, our realization that we were going to be in this for a while, we used this portal to communicate initially financial resources as we were getting them through the state. We were thinking about some of our rebound strategies where we knew when people could start moving around again that we would be asking Ohioans, which is actually Ohio's largest, wherever you live in Ohio, Ohioans are our largest group of visitors. And then the paths. We knew that the Drip Drive, Summit Brew Path, and New Begin Akron would be a way to begin inviting people back. At the end of 2020, we launched kind of phase 2, which was Reactivate Akron. Again, all of this was ebbing and flowing, but what we did through social media was offer folks 3 options based on their comfort level of navigating protocols and closures, and that was something that they can do at home virtually. The Nightlight Cinema, so many of our partners were really resilient and innovative just almost immediately and offered all of these virtual opportunities, being able to look at some of the collections at the art gallery online and virtual viewings of films at the Nightlight, being able to purchase and have shipped to your home maple syrup from Hale Farm. And obviously Summit Metro Parks and the national parks, being respectful of any kind of protocols, flourished during that time as well. And then we had a drive up for those that were a little more comfortable being out and about, and then some masked up, again, respecting any kind of current protocol. So we were trying to navigate that space, not only for our partners to help drive their bottom lines, but to also get our fellow residents kind of reacclimated with life. On the Jonas Knight Center side, there was an initiative called Let's Meet There, and it's sponsored nationally by the U.S. Travel Association. And the notion behind Let's Meet There, it was using the science and respecting protocols to get people back to meeting in person. And so we were navigating all of that with the Summit County Health Department as it related to the Knight Center in Greystone, making sure that we were respecting those protocols. Within that, once we knew that we could kind of get people back safely, was this kind of reconnecting, and then a broad moniker for the bureau, or for the center, is let's start planning again. And the kind of we're ready when you're ready, just letting meeting planners know that that we were there to help them bring those events back. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Grab Life Right Here, we just finished the official program that was really outside the area. It was in markets within Ohio and then some of the contiguous states. We generated over 10 million impressions across a variety of different platforms, social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the videos on YouTube. And we worked with Knox Marketing on that, a team down in Peninsula. So we're really excited about how that allowed us, as we kind of look back over those 2 years or so, how we realized that moving forward, there's probably going to be a never normal, but learning lessons and using research, using feedback, using the intuition of our partners to kind of navigate through that. So I just want to share this with you, and I have a copy of this. This is an award-winning, I called it a coffee table book that we did. We received a grant from the Knight Foundation, and I'll just quickly share. If you know Kyle Kudachief, the Akron director, he and I were sitting having coffee one day, and he said, Jim, this community says they're nerdy, and this community says they're hip, and this one's geeky, and this one's whatever. He's like, what's Akron? And I said, well, let me go back and try to figure that out. So what I came up with is this term of Akronicity, and I'll read you. It's a noun. It's the innate creativity, tenacity, and intellectual prowess that has and will continue to surge through the men and women of Akron, Ohio. Embrace your Akronicity and make your new ideas reality. Akronicity is a uniquely one-of-a-kind spirit of innovation and determination that only the people of Greater Akron possess. So talk about historically looking at disruption as we arced through, being the rubber capital of the world and kind of mitigating and navigating through all of that to still be a very vibrant community that used this Akronicity. This, as you see, I say down here, what is the icity after Akron? It's the sweat, tears, joy, steadfastness, grit, passion, and smarts that are the foundation of our community. And that is, I guess, my way of trying to wrap a little bow around all of this is that we all are this Akronicity is charging through all of us. And so I encourage you to look at some of our collateral. I have visitor guides. I have the Akronicity book. There's a plate shop QR code so you can access those weekend itineraries. Hopefully you all recognize this. Back in 2015, we volunteered as a staff out at the club and did some cleaning and raking and all kinds of good projects. The Partnerships in Motion moniker that I talked about, this one we use as a staff, which is creating positive change together, and it gives us a chance to spend time out of the office together as a group and do things that are important for the community. So I did have a final thank you Q&A slide, but I think Katie will take that over.
Thank you very much for this. I appreciate you stepping in. We do have a stop at 1 o'clock when we stop the meeting, but anyone's welcome to stay after for some questions. I will say, take the liberty of saying, as far as your speakers bureau, this is the place we want those speakers to come here first, and I will be glad to arrange that. I'll send me your PowerPoint and I'll get it to get it out to our newsletter. And my one question was, has there ever been, what's the biggest surprise organization coming here that you've touched? Okay, so what organization has ever surprised you by wanting to come and do something here in Akron? Has it been a sporting event? Has it been a convention that you were like, oh, we never thought they'd want to come here, but they did?
We've been very, very lucky. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association has been here twice. They are bringing other ability-related events here. We are actually working with the wheelchair rugby group. We've had the National Pez Dispenser Collectors, you name it. I mean, I've joked over the years, there is an association for everything. So we really aren't surprised sometimes. And it's very competitive, I'll be honest. In most instances, a piece of business, there are other communities that are vying for it. And hopefully all of the things that I shared, pieced together is what really gives us leverage over others.
Do you have any other questions, or stay after to ask after the meeting's adjourned?
I do have a set of lawn chairs that I want to give away, and I thought I'd go old school. So who has a birthday coming up? Whoever has the next birthday wins.
August 13th? August 3rd.
August 3rd. I feel like an auctioneer. Right on August 3rd. Anything before August 3rd? If not, we have a winner. And honestly, thank each and every one of you for your time and attention today. I know it was a lot of information.
One more to ask for you. I think you'll pull a raffle ticket, so we also have giveaways.
So the number I have is 228-455.
See, you didn't win the chair.
Congratulations, Cheryl. And as Linda mentioned, Cheryl wins not only an opportunity to pull for the big draw, but also the opportunity to sell tickets next week.
Oh, busy, so I might need somebody standing for me.
2284.
Thanks again, John.
9 o'clock, so you get $6. Okay, thank you.
So we good, Dr. Doug? Okay, great. Gloria had to leave, and I just wanted to reiterate, the new Rotary magazine is out for August, and I told Gloria before she left, one of the goals of our international president, Jennifer Jones, at the bottom says empowering girls. So her organization goes hand in hand with our Rotary International goals. So congratulations to Gloria and her Grace Academy. If you did not get one of your theme pins, please let me know. I brought extra ones here. And John, thank you. So, Jim, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for your presentation today. It was interesting. As I read through your bio, I just wanted to say, go Spartans. My daughter-in-law is a Michigan State grad. So when I saw Michigan State for your undergrad, I wanted to go. Emily would be happy to know that there's a Spartan in the room. So congratulations and come back again. Your presentation was excellent. More good news about Akron. So thank you again. If there's no other announcements, I know that Tom Knauer has a membership meeting tomorrow at noon at the Akron Rotary Camp. If you're part of the membership committee or mentoring, you are welcome to join us at noon at the Rotary Camp. If there's nothing else, have a very safe afternoon, and thank you for coming. See you next week.